How many of these stories do you tell your kids?
0.
Really?
Do you let them watch the content or no?
No.
When will you?
I don't know. It's a weird thing. Like, it's funny. Like, my oldest, she's 8. Actually, oh my God, yeah, she's turning 8 soon. She's 7 now. Anyways, her classmates have not many of them. They're 7, but there have been classmates that when I pick her up, they recognize me, and it shows there are 7-year-olds that are watching this content.
They recognize you?
Yeah.
7-year-olds.
Well, I think that my daughter very likely has tipped them off, but they
Or the
look.
parents.
Do they
It
think
could
you're
be
like a
the parents.
superhero? They walk
No,
around with you out
I
in
don't think
public.
so. I
Oh,
don't
Daddy
think so.
got approached. You don't think so?
I don't think so. Because my kids, like, they're young enough that they don't really understand what I do.
Got it.
Ella, my oldest, definitely probably does. She wants to be a YouTuber, and I think that's
cute.
probably in part, But like my youngest, Henry, who's 3, like, he knows, like, there's such a thing as MrBallen, but doesn't really understand what that is. And like my middle, same thing.
That is so funny.
But yeah, no, they don't watch any of it. In fact, the live show, they're going to be there for it, and it's the first time they're going to hear any of this stuff. Like, they don't even know what they're walking
So they
into.
just think like Dad's gonna come and like tell a story to
Yeah,
people.
basically. And it's fun. So at night, every night, I tell my son a story, but it's like completely fictional. And
Yeah.
so I lay down with him every night, and I say, okay, Henry, what story do you want to listen to? And it's like a T-Rex story. And I'll tell the story of like Henry and the T-Rex that's like made up on the spot. Like, so he's...
So you just make it all up.
Making them all up. There's
on the
like,
spot.
Yeah, I just like make story, and I tell my kids stories all the time, but they're like happy, friendly stories,
Yeah.
ponies and princesses and stuff.
I
But they-
couldn't do that. I don't think I could just make up a story on the spot like that.
Well,
and
I
have it be, like,
professionally
good.
tell stories, so
I
that's
know.
all I do.
There's a
But
little bit of
still,
a difference there.
I know, but there's difference in reciting something that you've internalized versus like making something up on the spot.
Yeah.
It's fictional.
Yeah, well, I mean, luckily it's a 3-year-old who's not going to judge the story
Yeah,
too
yeah.
hard.
That's a
but
good
yeah,
point.
no, it's-
Inconsistencies,
yeah.
pointing that out.
So you haven't picked out a time where maybe you'll be comfortable to share these stories with your kids?
I don't know. I mean, it's like there's the 2 parts of my life that we've discussed at length, like the Navy side and the YouTube side. They really don't know much about it all, mostly because I probably am over sheltering them to some degree. Like, they know Dad was in the military at one point, but like, what does that mean? They don't know what a Navy SEAL is. They don't know what war is, and similarly, they don't really understand that like the world is a scary place and horrible things do happen, and that's what's covered on YouTube. And I think that like I'm probably resistant to the idea of like, I don't know, showing them the reality of the world. Not that like my YouTube videos are like, that's the world.
Right.
Like, that's the worst part of the world. That's not the world. But yeah, I think I'm just a little protective of my kids.